Let's talk a little bit more about this with Asha Rangappa, a former FBI special agent and assistant dean and senior lecturer at Yale's Jackson School of Global Affairs. Thank you for being with us. You know, President Biden says these documents were secure. They were in a locked closet in his personal office. And then there was the Wilmington, Delaware location where he had them in a locked garage and possibly another adjacent room. But of course, the lawyers are looking into whether there are other classified files. Now, it makes sense they would need time to locate these files and best know where to search for them. But at what point would the FBI be involved?
Thank you, Adrienne. Well, the FBI is already involved. I think we need to understand that a special counsel has been appointed, which means that an investigation is underway. And so by definition, the FBI would already be looking into it. I suspect that right now what the investigation involves is a preliminary inquiry, which means they are looking to see whether there are facts to warrant whether a violation of criminal law has occurred. And so they're still in the very early preliminary stages. I want to emphasize that, you know, whether or not they were secured in the garage or in his house, these are not appropriate locations for classified documents. So I think that explanation is, you know, it may help mitigate the concern that unauthorized individuals have accessed it, but these are not authorized locations. So there are national security concerns here, but I think it still remains to be seen whether there is a violation of any kind of criminal law.
Well, and that's of course something that we have to wait and see about. But when comparing this case to the case against former President Trump, the DOJ and the FBI were under a lot of scrutiny because of how they conducted this raid on Mar-a-Lago. But was that the case because of how much time it took for the former administration to turn over those classified documents? Is that the difference here between what's happening with Biden and what happened with Trump?
Yes, I think we need to understand that it's, you know, in both of these situations, the National Archives notified the Department of Justice that there may be classified documents in unauthorized locations. In Trump's case, that happened in or around December 2021, January 2022. And it wasn't a raid, it was a search warrant that was executed at Mar-a-Lago in August of 2022. So 8 months had passed. In January of that year, they would have been at the same stage they are now in with the Biden administration. And look, if Biden doesn't cooperate, if he says that documents have been turned over and it becomes clear to the FBI that there are still documents there, the same events may unfold, but we need to understand that the search warrant that was executed for former President Trump happened after 8 months of attempting to get voluntary cooperation, issuing a subpoena, and eventually getting information that he still had documents at his home that he had not turned over.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.